Okay, so welcome everybody to this week's Unstoppable Women series. I have with me here today Coach Elzy and Emma King and our wonderful cadet Girl Scout Bridget Fisher. Coach Kyra Elzy has been a pivotal person to the growth of the University of Kentucky's women's basketball team over the past decade. She spent 4 seasons on former coach Matthew Mitchell's Kentucky staff as an assistant coach and associate head coach before returning to the staff before the 2016-2017 season. The 2020-2021 season was Coach Elzy's 9th overall at Kentucky and her first as head coach. Coach Elzy is a native of LaGrange, Kentucky, and was a star player for Oldham County High School. As associate head coach, she ran University of Kentucky's recruiting operation and produced unmatched results with 3 straight top 10 recruiting classes and 4 McDonald's High School All-Americans. Emma King was born and raised in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Always a University of Kentucky fan, she dreamed of playing basketball for the Wildcats. A rising junior, Emma is a shooting guard majoring in human health sciences. As a freshman, Emma played in 15 games during the season, scoring 21 points with 6 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. As a sophomore, Emma made the first start in her career in season opener against Murray State, playing for 16 minutes and played in the NCAA tournament, going 2 of 2 from the free throw line. And again, interviewing these wonderful women is our cadet Girl Scout, Bridget Fisher. Welcome, everybody, and Bridget, take it away.
Hi. I'm just gonna ask some questions for y'all. First thing I'm gonna ask. So tell us about yourself and your background.
Go ahead, Emma.
Okay. My name is Emma King, like she said. I am a junior here at UK. I am majoring in human health sciences. I think that I would like to do occupational therapy. I've been playing basketball my whole entire life, pretty much. And like she said, it really was my dream to play at UK, and here I am. And I'm so grateful to be here, and I've just really enjoyed the 2 years that I've been here already.
And I'm Coach Kyra Elzy. I am from LaGrange, Kentucky. LaGrange has the best pizza in the world, hometown pizza, in case you all want to go. I've been at the University of Kentucky for 10 years, became the head coach last year, and it really is a dream come true. I played for the iconic Coach Pat Summit, which we'll talk about later. I have a son that's going to kindergarten tomorrow, so I may or may not be crying, and a husband that I've been married to for 9 years.
You sound like my mom when I started going off and like doing things. She's like, I'm gonna cry.
Yes, I need you to have some sympathy for your mother. Now that I'm a mother, that will be me tomorrow.
Okay, that's wonderful. So our next question is, when did you start playing sports and what inspired you to do so? Did you have to give anything up to play sports?
So I started playing sports as young as I can remember. I was like 2 or 3 going to gymnastics classes because my sisters were a little bit older. And so I was just a little tot running around doing that. And then ever since then, I played every sport under the sun. And I really fell in love with sports. I really love competing. That's something that like I've always just really enjoyed. And so being on a team, getting to compete with other people, like that's just something that like my whole childhood was based around. I started playing basketball specifically when I was in 3rd grade. And I started because my sister started playing because her best friend was playing. And she was just like, oh, you should do this. It'll be fun. And so like I kind of just got drug in with them and I've been stuck. It was honestly just like my best sport. And so like I stuck with it. And then to answer the second question, I did have to give up. Well, I didn't have to, but I chose to because I knew when I was little that I wanted to play at a high level. So I ended up giving up other sports so I could focus on basketball and be able to put my time and dedication into that so I could be successful and get to where I am today.
Way to follow your friends, Emma, and your sister. See where it has gotten you here. So that's amazing. I actually started playing basketball in 5th grade. Now, believe it or not, I had ADHD and I did not like to sit in school for too long. So I was always bouncing around. So my mom thought it would be a good way for me to burn my energy. And it turns out she was correct. And then I have the competitive bug, hate to lose. So I played on the boys team for 2 years. And then sports was just my thing. And I fell in love with basketball, and it has taken me across the world. And I have met a lot of amazing people in this sport. And the things that you have to sacrifice, I don't think people understand the work that you have to put in to get to this level. So I missed a lot of time with my friends, but it all paid off.
Okay, that is wonderful. So one question for you, Coach Elzy. You said that you had to be on the boys basketball team. Can you enlighten us a little bit more on that and why you had to be on the boys team?
Yeah, so my elementary school did not have enough girls to play basketball. So they put me on the boys team. So the funny thing is they were all picking teams. And of course, no one wants the girl on their team, right? You know, boys. But anyway, I was taller than half the boys. So I think I showed them up the first day. And then after that, they were fighting about whose team I was going to be on. So I grew up playing with all these guys. So that was fun. But, you know, it also, playing with my cousins that were all boys, it made me develop a toughness. So I can appreciate doing that.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear. So going on to our next question, what is your favorite aspect of being a female athlete?
For me, especially like being a Kentucky girl, I just like having the platform that I do because I love to be able to encourage and uplift younger kids, especially across the state, because I know that that's something that's super important and like a big deal to a lot of little girls. I mean, like I was that girl, like I just looked up to these people. So that's honestly like one of my favorite things about being at UK. My favorite thing about being like a female athlete is just honestly like the competition, and like I've kind of taken it as a challenge to compete at such a high level that for so long was seen as like a male dominant thing, like just sports in general were male dominant. And to see women being able to do this and compete and be just as successful is honestly just so inspiring. And I love that I'm able to be a part of it.
I could have answered that better, Emma. I would echo exactly what Emma just said, but you know, obviously having the platform to inspire, impact, influence young women and give them hope that they can do anything that they put their mind to it. You really can achieve it. And there really are no ceilings anymore. We have shattered the glass ceiling, and I love it. And it just shows that females rock, and we have the toughness, the resilience, and the determination, not only just to do it, but to do it better.
Sometimes I watch the boys in my school and they're like, ew, a girl, she can't do anything. And I'm like, you really want to test that? Because I can show you a bunch of very powerful women.
You know what, Bridget, I like you. You bring them to a Kentucky women's basketball game and we will show them up. They can come to our practice anytime.
Okay. So that is always so wonderful to hear different things about girls being better than boys. There's definitely little phrases that every elementary school kid has ever heard, like boys rule, girls drool, or something like that. I'm like, everyone rocks in their own way.
Yeah,
but women are better.
A little bit better. We rock it a little bit better, Bridget. Don't let them fool you that women rule the world.
Okay. So going on to our next question, what is or was your favorite food to eat the night before a big game?
So for me, I always grew up and my dad always told me carbs, carbs, carbs. So my mom would always make pasta before. So that's something that I've kind of just stuck with since I've been here. Blair, another one of my teammates, we go to Jason's Deli and we get pasta before all of our home games. It's just then that's something that our nutritionist talks to us about as well. So we have pasta, but it also has protein. And so that's something that is important to fuel your body to be able to participate to the highest level. And so I've just stuck with that and pretty much go with it every game.
My brother loves carbs. Like he'll just go, it'll be like 6 a.m. and he'll go into the kitchen and just grab a piece of bread. Nothing else, just a piece of bread. It confuses me sometimes.
He knows,
it really does.
He knows what he likes.
Yeah.
I would probably say I was a little different than Emma in high school. It changed once I got to college, but I grew up, I was really skinny growing up. So my family was like, you need food, food, food. So before my games, I cannot believe this now, but the night before, I always had fried pork chops, macaroni and cheese, fried apples, and my best friend's mom always made them for me. And I think I became superstitious. She made me fried apples one night before a game, and I had like 30 points and 30 rebounds. So from that point on, I always had to have fried apples, and they had to be from her. Superstitious here, I don't know.
That reminds me of Cracker Barrel. That's what it reminds me of, fried
I
apples.
love Cracker Barrel. Do you like Cracker Barrel, Bridget?
Yeah, I've pretty much been going there since I was really, really young. My grandparents, one of their things was when we were younger, and even still today, we'll just go to either a Mexican restaurant or a Cracker Barrel.
Okay, what do you order from Cracker Barrel?
It really depends. It's either chicken and dumplings or breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, Bridget, I'm just saying, what day are you going to be in Lexington? I can hang out with you. You're my type of chick.
I'm always in Lexington, actually.
Yeah, well, come on over. Come on over to the school, and we're going to go to Cracker Barrel, and we're going to have chicken and dumplings, and you can never go wrong with the pancakes, the mama's pancake, the grandma's pancake breakfast.
Okay. Again, super wonderful to hear from both of you. And our next question is, what are 3 reasons you like being part of a team?
Okay, so my first reason, go back to what I said earlier. I just love competition. I love competing. I like just pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. And trust me, that's something Coach Elzy makes us do. The second one is honestly just like the family environment. And that has kind of been my whole entire life. Like I always got super close with my teammates, but college is different because you're grown, you're pretty much, you're adults, and you have to learn how we have all different kinds of personalities. And it's a team that you stay with for 4 years. Like usually when you're growing up, like your teams will change, you get rotated, but like you're with the same people for 4 years. And so you just learn to grow as a person with these people. And it really, really, really is just like a huge family environment. And it's something that I just love being a part of. And then the third one for me is trust. I'm a very independent person. And so I just tell myself, like, if I want it done, I'll go do it. But like, you can't do that, especially when you're on a team. You have all these other people that you have to rely on. And you have to, like, they have to have your back and you have to have theirs, and you have to learn to work together and come together as a team. And I just think that that's honestly very beautiful. And it has made me rely on myself less, even though I want to. And it's just been really good.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I changed schools a couple times, so I didn't really get to know as many people as deep as I wanted to. And then I got to where I am now, and I'm pretty sure I have the friends that I'll have for the rest of my life, hopefully.
I hope so too.
I hope
That's
so
awesome.
too. That's amazing. I would say for me, the sisterhood, kind of what Emma talked about, the family. And it's a group of people that you are aligned with. You all are all there to do the same job and accomplish the same goals. And then it's family. These are people that you are in the trenches with, and you will have highs. And when the highs are high, they're very high. When the lows are very low. And so there's a vulnerable state and trust that you have in each other, and you have memories that you make for a lifetime.
Okay. So moving on to our next question. What are the ways that you implement self-care?
So something that's like really been a huge part of athletics, especially here recently, is just like taking mental health days. And I think that's something that has been overlooked for a long time, but finally like we're starting to get into it and starting to get to where we need to be, because it is a huge thing and mental health is so important. And that's something that we have here at UK, and that our coaches take very seriously. And we have all kinds of resources. So for me, like my self-care is just like whatever I need for my mental health. Like sometimes I'll need just a day to relax, to rewind, just get it all out and just be by myself for a little bit. And that's okay. And we have days for that. And then honestly, another simple self-care is just like, I like to go get pedicures. It's good. Basketball tears up my feet.
Yeah, my mom and dad put on the Olympics pretty much every night, and one of the things that we watched was Simone Biles just stepping out of one of her activities, and from what my mom tells me, she basically got dissed for it, and I don't. She's just trying to think about herself and her mental care.
Absolutely. She needs to, like, that is a priority. And honestly, she set such an example for everyone, because she's literally on the highest stage, and she did it with no regrets, and she did it for herself, which she absolutely needed to do. And the way that she did it, as she just presented it so well, and it was so important for people to see, and for her to do that with the platform that she has.
I echo that. I was so proud of her, because that's a tough situation to be in, and not everyone was going to like her decision. And I'm proud that she chose herself first, because she is the most important. And really, she had nothing else to prove. But I'm glad that she wanted to do everything on her own terms, which is important, especially in sport, because sometimes people forget that you are still human. And, there are things that are happening in your world that they might not understand. And as far as me, for self-care, counseling is very important to make sure that you are always in the right frame of mind. I try to either go to church or listen to gospel to keep me balanced. Like Emma said, there's nothing like a good pedicure and manicure. That is a must. Like, that's priority. As much as I can sneak in to get a massage, oh my gosh, you would think I have hit the lottery. Working out is very good for the soul. And the last thing, mindless TV for me. I watch reality TV. So my 600-pound life or my strange addictions, something that doesn't involve me, my brain to have to work.
That's really inspiring to hear. It really is. Okay. Our next question is, where will we find you on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m.? Don't know why that's so specific, but it is.
So for me, If we're not in season, you will find me in my bed resting because we've had a week of workouts and my body just needs a break. But during season, we always have practice, usually at 10 a.m. And so you'll find me in the gym.
Correct. During the season, I'll be where Emma is, in the gym. Out of season, at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, I'm probably on the soccer field watching my little boy play soccer, and trying to remain calm and not act like a coach because I want them to win and I want him to hustle. But that's usually where I am.
That's funny to hear. Because the fact that you're a coach and you're having to keep yourself from stopping.
Yes. Yeah. So I try to remain calm. I don't want to be one of those parents that are overbearing. So I just sit in my seat and I just yell hustle. And the other, I know nothing about soccer besides the goal. Them scoring a goal. So that's probably a good thing.
Okay. So our next questions have to do with leadership. What does leadership mean to you? And what is your leadership style?
So for me, leadership is just someone who is willing to step up for a cause that they believe in. It can be literally whatever. It's just that you're comfortable being uncomfortable, really. Like you are ready to make a stand for what you believe in. That can be in sports or not in sports, because in sports you need leaders to step up and they're pretty much going to have to take the discipline. They're going to have to hear all the hard things and they're going to have to be able to elaborate the rest of it to your teammates. And then outside of sports, just literally anybody who will make a stand and stand up for it. Personally, my leadership style is by action. I can't think of the two leadership, like there's two. We always talk about them in practice.
Lead by example.
Lead by example or vocal leader or example leader. I am I love to talk, obviously. But when it comes to leadership style, I'm much more of an action speak louder than words. And I would just much rather go and do it than tell you how to do it. Like I'll follow my lead kind of thing. So that's personally for me.
Yeah, I agree that I'm also that way. Most of the time I'll just talk my mouth off and my friends will have to tell me to just be quiet.
Girl, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
But if I'm ever doing something with like the team or other kids, I'll be like, okay, I don't know how to explain this. Just follow me and try.
Yep, that sounds like a good plan, Bridget. That sounds like a great plan. That is awesome. So do you think you're the leader, Bridget, out of your friends? Are you the one that's kind of coordinating, organizing everything?
I think that we're all, when it comes to different things, we all have our different things that we're like, okay, you're going to be in charge of this for this, but you're going to be in charge of this for this. It's kind of like switching it up and not really letting it lead on one person.
Oh, understood. I like it. I like it. Leadership for me is someone who can lead with a servant's heart. And it's more about giving than taking, and building great relationships. So you have a trust and a consistency within your relationship. Everyone knows what they're going to get from you every day. And I think this job forces me to be a mix of both, of a lead by example, but also to be vocal in what I want. But also I would say the most important thing that I've learned sitting in the seat, you have to be coachable and be willing to take criticism and get knocked down, and it forces you to be resilient.
It's interesting to hear how you say, as yourself, you have to be coachable as well.
All the time, Bridget. They hold my feet to the fire about everything. So that's good. So one of the winning tools of our program is accountability. And it has to go both ways. So they hold me accountable. I hold them accountable. In order for us to be our best, we all have to have honest conversations. It doesn't mean we're always going to like what each other has to say. But there is a love and respect that we have for each other. But you have to have an honest conversation and accountability in order for us to achieve our goals.
She's not lying. She has certain rules that she has for us. And if we break them, we get punished. So when she breaks them, we make sure she's also punished.
Exactly. So for example, we wear an outfit of the day, the players match, the staff matches. I don't know what happened the other day. I ironed all my clothes before. I had them all hanging up. I must have just grabbed the wrong one. I'm not for sure what happened. It was early in the morning. So I had to come to the circle and was like, listen, I did not wear the correct outfit today. And usually they would have to run. So I had to get with the strength coach to make sure that I received my punishment for not having the right outfit on. So that they held me accountable to the standard.
We sure did.
Okay, so going on to our next question is, what qualities make a teammate a good team captain?
For me, I would say someone who is reliable. You need to know that you can count on them, that they will be there for you, that you are going to fight with them and for them. Another one that's really important is you also need someone for a team captain. You need them to be mentally tough. So they need to be able to, like Coach Elzy said, handle the criticism and be coachable. And the last one that I have is also what Coach Elzy said, like a servant's heart. Like they have to be willing to put the team before themselves. And I think that that's something that's sometimes overlooked. Just because a lot of times, especially in sports, a leader is just automatically assumed to be the best player, but that may not be the best role for them as the leader of the team. And so it just needs to be someone who's willing to put the team before themselves and just learn how to play your role from there.
I would agree. I would add someone that has empathy and sympathy, because everyone on the team might be going through different things. And someone who is a great communicator, you have to be able to listen and you have to be able to give honest advice, which we just talked about. And then I think you have to have a level of respect because you have to be hardworking for people to respect what you're saying. So I think that is really important. And then just across the board, again, consistent.
Okay. Again, wonderful to hear. Probably should find another thing to say, but I can't think of one.
You're doing awesome, Bridget.
Our next question is there a particular leader you look up to and why?
I looked through these questions before and I didn't really have a specific answer. I was just going to say, kind of like what I said earlier, just anyone who is willing to stand up for a cause. But now that this has been a few days after, and we've been talking about it since we've been on the Zoom call, I think that I'm going to choose Simone Biles. I just think that she is somebody who stepped up, who used the platform that she had and used it for a good cause. Despite what backlash she was going to get, obviously she wanted to compete, but she knew what was best for her, and she decided that that's what she had to do. And I think that that is the epitome of a leader, just being able to. She wanted to put her team before herself because she knew that she was not the best that she could be. And I just think that that is the definition of a leader.
I would say for me, Coach Pat Summitt, she was women's basketball, the face of it. And for her to fight for not only the University of Tennessee, but for all women's sports. And her humility, her ability to lead with the servant's heart, for her to stand for what she believed in and was grounded in that, and her ability to influence people to do good is what made her special. Rest in peace, Coach.
Rest in peace, definitely. So our next question is, how does being an athlete inspire you to do good?
Okay, I'm sorry if you can hear this train that's right outside my window while I answer this question. But for me, it kind of goes back to like what I said at the beginning. Like, I have this platform and I know that there's a bunch of people who look up to me and who see the position that I'm in and want to be able to get to where I am. And, my mom always taught me, treat everybody how you want to be treated. And when I'm in this position, like, I just always think about how I was when I was little. I looked up to these girls. I wanted to be just like them. And I just want to do good so that they can also do good and see that.
I think for me, one of the things that Coach Summit taught all of us was leave people better than how you found them. So everyone that you encounter, make sure you lift them up, that you inspire them, and you leave them feeling better than they were before you encountered them.
That reminds me of something I'm pretty sure every Girl Scout knows. Leave the place better than you found it. I think that works wonderful with people as well.
Absolutely. That's why you're a great Girl Scout. I love it.
Okay. Our last question in the leadership category is, how important is it to have a mentor to grow as a leader? What are some steps to build that type of relationship?
So honestly, for me, that person for me when I first got to UK was Coach Elzy, because she was the associate head coach. She was my position coach, and that was her role for me. I was in her office crying every day. I just had a rough transition, but don't get me wrong, I loved it here. I still love it here, but things are hard sometimes, and this is school, this is everything. And she was always that person for us, and specifically me. And it really is so important to be able to have that person in your corner for you to be able to grow to where you want to be. And something that is really important when you're trying to get there is you have to be vulnerable. You have to let people know what's going on inside your head, everything behind the scenes, and you have to just be honest, and you have to say, this is what I want, this is what's happening, this is what's not happening, and you just have to be open and honest. And I think that that's important for everybody to be able to learn. It is very difficult, and you don't always want to do it, but it is very important to get you to where you need to be.
Agreed. And Emma, speaking of that, we have not had our, usually we have our sessions. We need to have one before you leave. See, we're talking offline now. But for me, it's Coach Mickey DeMoss, who is my assistant coach at the University of Tennessee, and she's still my mentor now. But I think what makes a great mentor is the relationship. You have to have a confidant that you can bounce things off of. Fear, fear of failure, or you're not doing, or life is not going how you thought it was going to happen, or whatever the case may be, that they can let you vent, they can let you cry, then they pick you up, talk you off the ledge, give you the confidence that you need to go back and fight another day. And so she has been that for me, and she still is until this day. But I think you also need to surround yourself with a group of people that will challenge you, that will inspire you, but also will give you the truth, but also be the people there to pick you up when you fall, because it will happen. And my friends and I always say, and I always say, iron sharpens iron. You need good people around you.
Okay, so we're now done with our leadership category. Our next set of questions is part of the best piece of advice. So our first question for that is, what tricks have you discovered to keep you focused and productive in your day-to-day busy schedule?
So for me, I say honestly, just like to keep your goals in the forefront of your mind. You need to remember why you're so busy, why you're working so hard, because it is easy to just get stuck in a rut and just doing the same thing over and over again. So you have to remind yourself, this is what I want, this is why I'm doing it, and let me continue to keep pushing through. Also, another one that's big and that I learned when I got to school is if you have a very busy schedule, you need a planner. There's a lot that goes on in my life in a day, and I need a planner. And it's just, I thought that I could handle it myself. I can't. And so I have my day planned out for me. Coach Elzy, you'll love to hear that one.
Very good. I just started clapping over here by myself. I'm over here celebrating because Emma did not think she needed a planner for her very busy day. But she got there and amazing results happened because of it. I would second that, a planner. I do not leave my house. I don't go anywhere without my planner. I have it at all times. But I also think making a vision board to stay focused on your goals, but having a daily schedule and your top 3 objectives of what you are trying to accomplish that day, because sometimes your life gets so busy that you have so many things to do, it is overwhelming, and learning to prioritize what you need to get accomplished that day.
At the start of last year, my mom got me a planner, and I could never really use it because I had everything on my computer basically already planned for the next day.
That's okay. Everybody has a system, whatever system works for you, Bridget.
But I feel like more than likely I'm going to need a planner this year because it's in person, and it was not very in person last year. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons I never got to use it.
Well, won't you try it out and let Emma and I know how it goes?
Okay. Our next question is, what would you say are the top 3 skills needed to be a successful female athlete in sports?
My first one is support. And I think that that's something that comes from family, it comes from teammates, it comes from the people that you choose to surround yourself with. It's really important to have the people around you support you. It's also important to have people in your life that are not in the same everyday life as you. So like, it's important for us athletes to have friends, to have people outside of athletics, just so we can take time. Kind of goes back to the mental health days. Just take a step back from it when you need it. Another one for me is determination. That's something that I learned, when I was young, and kind of goes back to why I quit playing other sports. Like, I was determined to get to this level and to play here. And I think that that's incredibly important to be able to reach your goals. And then the last one is where it really hits home, and that is confidence. That is something that I have struggled with since I've been here. And I think that it applies to a lot of female athletes, because females tend to be a little more emotional, a little more sensitive. And so it gets difficult sometimes. And so I think that that's something, like, you can be your biggest enemy at times. And I just think that that's something that will really help all young athletes to be able to be successful. It's just, you have to believe in yourself, even on your bad days.
Very good, Emma, but she has gained a lot of confidence from day one on this campus until now, and deservedly so because she's put the work in. I would say number one, like Emma said, support system. You need to surround yourself with good people because athletes, it is an up and down experience all the time. Two, I would say work ethic. It is a must. You have to have it. Three is a dedication to your craft. It just takes work and being so laser focused on being the best. It's just a dedication, whether that's film, extra shots, or whatever the case may be in your sport, but dedication to your craft. And I'm going to add one more, resilience, because it will knock you down. This sports will knock you down and make you feel things that you never thought possible. So being able to get back up when you're knocked down.
That's very inspiring to hear. So our next question is, how do you balance your career, personal life, and passions?
Well, I don't have a career, but basketball is basically my job. I really just make sure, like I'm busy, but there are a lot of hours in the day, and you just have to figure out, you really just have to have your priorities straight. And for me, basketball is one of the most important things in my life, especially considering doing what I'm doing. But also my family and my faith is very important to me as well. So to be able to make time for all of those, it's just something like maybe you'll have to wake up 5 minutes earlier, or you have to you have a 1 to 2 hour time block between practice and lift to go eat with one of your friends that you just need to catch up with. It's really all about time management. Go back to your planner, figure out when you have time, but it's just making sure that you have your priorities straight and really just making time for people and for the things that you want in your life.
I would agree. I think I am still trying to figure it out, honestly. It's hard. Career, family, friends, wanting to have me time. So I'm still trying to figure it out, to be honest. But like Emma said, prioritizing. So there's certain parts of the year that I know that I'm focused on basketball and family. And then there's other times, that I can hang with my friends or have a little more me time. So just balancing it out. But one thing that I have discovered is not being so hard on yourself. There's only so many hours in a day. And if I don't get to it, or if I can't get to it, being okay with that and just doing the best that I can do every day.
Okay, our next and final question is, what do you believe will be the biggest challenge for the next generation of female athletes behind you, and what advice would you give to them?
For me personally, I think that one of the biggest challenges is going to be just to continue to strive for excellence when there is so many things and people out there who want to put female athletes down. And like Coach Elzy said, like we can compete just as well, and there's no ceiling. And for people to want to put a ceiling on us, I think makes it difficult, but I also think it makes us determined to be able to prove people wrong. With that being said, I also think that I love social media, don't get me wrong, but there is things out there that you see the highlights of people's life. It's really easy to judge your life compared to somebody else's. Comparison is a huge thing. And I think that when you start comparing with other people, that kind of comes with the confidence, like it'll come in waves. And I think honestly, for like the best advice I have for that is to stay true to yourself, to make sure that you know that what you're doing is it's your journey. Like nobody else can live your life for you. And just to stay confident in that and to not let what other people are saying or doing affect how your journey goes.
Yeah, so sometimes I think if there was someone who could just like make the best decisions for me, and so I could just relax and not have to be basically thinking about what I'm doing, I would love that. But
Yeah,
that's not how the world works.
that's not how life works. But also, some of the biggest lessons you will ever learn is from failing. So you're going to have to make those decisions for yourself and figure out what works for you. And honestly, failure, like there's no such thing as failure unless you accept it. So you just learn from it and move on.
That's great advice, Emma. I would echo Emma with the social media. I think it gives people a false sense of who they are or other people comparing themselves. It also, I think, to play with people's self-esteem or give immediate gratification, what people are looking for. So I think that will be one of the biggest challenges. And my piece of advice would just be you. Be fearless, be ambitious, be confident, be unapologetic. Don't allow anyone to put you in a box. And like I said, we have shattered the glass ceiling. A sand has been drawn, a line in the sand has been drawn, and there's no going back. Be who you are and be confident in the woman or the girl that you are trying to be.
Yeah, with the glass lighting shattering, you can't go back anymore. You can just go forward, or you could stay put, whichever you're comfortable with. Just going forward is where most people want to go.
Yes, we don't want to stay comfortable, Bridget. We are trying to move forward.
Very well said, Coach Elzy. And thank you so much, Bridget, for reading through all those questions and for your wonderful responses. It has been more than entertaining watching this conversation. And I mean, it's just, you all said the word so many times, inspirational, each and every one of you, including Bridget. We have just loved getting to hear from you all today. So just a huge thank you from everybody at Girl Scouts for you all being on here today. And Bridget, you are welcome to host our Unstoppable Women series anytime you would like, because you're very good at it. Emma and Coach Elzy, thank you so much for being here. And to everybody that attended today, thank you for watching.
Well, thank you so much for having us. It's been amazing. And Bridget, you are a young star in the making. You have been amazing. And I want to invite you, along with Emma, to a women's basketball game for you to be one of our honorary coaches and come in the locker room because you have inspired me to be better. So thank you so much. You were amazing.
And if you have any musicals or anything that you are in, send us the date and we'll try to make it, as long as you know we don't have basketball.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you all
you.
so much. Okay, have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.